Star Wars Obi Wan Kenobi has been moved again. Now, this time to a much lesser degree than before, but I think for no less an important reason than I discussed in my last video on this topic on April 1st, 2022, just about almost 2 months ago now at this point. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about this. Renegade Online. Well, welcome back, folks, once again. It's another great day here at Valiant Renegade. It's good to see everybody out there. And if you are like one of the many folks out there watching this video that are not yet subscribed to this channel, please do take a moment, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit the like button on this video, and do, of course, share it out on the social medias and leave a comment before you head out the door. We have gotten a lot of new subscribers in the past several days. It's been a little bit since I put out the last video, been busy, and then had an unexpected surprise, a good one. I've been spending a lot of this last week over on a very good friend's channel covering some of the celebrity trial that's going on right now over with my buddy Andrew at Legal Mindset. If you're not checking him out, you've probably seen me over there. If you have, a few times this week on late nights and early mornings talking about the day-to-day events in that trial. But let's talk about Obi Wan Kenobi, because this just came across less than an hour ago now as I record this. You may be seeing it sometime later, maybe the next day. But here we are. Obi Wan Kenobi. This is the Star Wars Twitter feed right here. Let's talk about this. The time for Obi Wan Kenobi has arrived early. Start streaming the first 2 episodes tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, the 2 episodes, nothing new. We covered that in the last video. We talked about why. This is going to be a bit of a continuation on that because we have a new wrinkle that we want to talk about. But the thing is that normally these shows on Disney Plus, they come out on Fridays, right? And they come out on Fridays and they drop usually at midnight Pacific, 2 a.m. where I am in Central Standard Time. So this is a 3-hour shift back. And you kind of have to ask yourself, was this Disney just trying to do something cool during Star Wars Celebration weekend? Yes, most likely. That is definitely a good factor. However, are there any other underlying factors that might have prompted Disney to make this decision? Not one that I think they made today on the spot when they tweeted this, for sure. But it's something that has been on their mind now, I think, for several weeks. And that is what I covered in the April 1st video. And if you recall, we talked about basically a battle this weekend for the ratings on Nielsen, who tracks watch minutes. And Stranger Things 4, of course, Season 4, or Part 1 of Season 4, comes out on Netflix this same weekend. So Nielsen is going to capture these shows in real time this weekend. Obi Wan Kenobi was pushed up 3 hours early to try to get a jump on things, in my opinion, which is not a terribly bad business move, especially considering that Lucasfilm and Disney, more specifically, or Disney Plus, has thrown the kitchen sink of marketing spends at this show. I have never seen another Disney Plus show with so much television advertisement on other networks. I have seen them on True TV watching Impractical Jokers. I have seen, and I'm talking 3 and 4 commercials an hour during 2 episodes of Impractical Jokers for Obi Wan Kenobi. I have seen multiple commercials for Obi Wan Kenobi run on AMC during Better Call Saul, of all things. I mean, they are throwing everything at this. And if you remember from the last video that we did, we talked about why. That has to do with Google Trends. Let's take a look at those real quick. So here we were back on April 1st when I made the last video on this topic, and we went up to this point, showing here, Stranger Things, a clear winner in the Google Trends search. This is kind of a good relative degree of interest, of public interest. What are people searching for? What are people looking for? And you can see there Obi Wan Kenobi at a 4, Stranger Things at a 14. And then as more announcements came, then we popped up April 15th. Look at this, burying the needle up here at 58. And then we come over here. Now, Obi-Wan gets a little pop right here in May as we start getting closer, because what happens there? May the 4th be with you, right? So we had a lot of searching for Obi-Wan on that day. And reasonably, yes, it does pop up over Stranger Things as you expect. But look at what's happened recently. Look at what's going on as we approach this co-opening weekend of the biggest Netflix show and what should be the biggest Disney Plus show that they've ever had. Maybe not quite beating The Mandalorian, but it should hold its own and get close in terms of watch time, right? Look at this. Obi Wan Kenobi is it's at the bottom. And look, here we are. This is the last bit of reliable data about 2 days ago here on May 24th. Look at Stranger Things compared to Obi Wan Kenobi. It is burying the needle. And Obi Wan Kenobi is sitting down there. Now, I think Disney has known this for some time. Disney, again, we talked about this in the last video. They knew they were not going to be able to beat Stranger Things this weekend in terms of watch. However, they did want to have a good showing, and this is why, as we stated in the last video, that they took the first 2 episodes, put them together, released them at the same time, put them out, because they need to have a better leg to go head-to-head with Stranger Things. Let's not forget the article in The Hollywood Reporter from back just a couple of months ago in March talking about a comparative analysis of the Disney Plus shows and their Nielsen aggregate watch minutes. Let's take a look at that chart again. Here's the Hollywood Reporter article from March with a composite chart of all the Disney Plus, MCU, and Star Wars shows, beginning with The Mandalorian in late 2019 and running through the Book of Boba Fett in 2021. 5.42 billion total watch minutes captured as of the time of this reporting for The Mandalorian. And this goes through, if you want to read the details and the data on how they collected this and where the measurements were, you're free to go to the article. I'll leave a link in the video below. Mandalorian Season 2, 8.38 billion. And you can see above that, about 58% of the show's 2021 watch time, 4.52 billion minutes, came in the 8-week run of Season 2. And then you see WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye, and then the Book of Boba Fett. Now, it's clear, it's very, very clear who the winner is here, what show is driving Disney Plus in terms of fresh content, and that is Mando and Grogu. And then, of course, Season 2, as huge as it was because of the return of Luke Skywalker. You can see the Marvel Cinematic Universe shows have paled in comparison to the performance of Mando, and let's not forget that when Mandalorian Season 1 first released on Disney Plus, those 5.42 billion watch minutes were from about 25 million North American subscribers. They now have 45 to 46 million North American subscribers at this point. Way more, which means the watch time for these shows should be going up, not down. But look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe shows, paling in comparison. Loki actually kind of gets there, but that was the best that they had. And of course, that is watch times kind of trailed off, I think, as the series went along. Hawkeye was the worst performer that they've had so far. But look at Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett enjoys almost twice as many subscribers on Disney Plus as the first season of The Mandalorian, and it is almost 1 billion watch minutes behind Season 1 of The Mandalorian. Now, what Disney is hoping for is that Obi-Wan can break this downward trajectory that they have for these shows, and that Obi Wan Kenobi can at least match the 5.42 billion of The Mandalorian in 2019, if not beat the 8.38 billion that Season 2 got, which even that had a lesser number of subscribers than they do now. And I've now been informed that the first 2 episodes of Obi Wan Kenobi combined to a total runtime of between 90 and 100 minutes. And who called it at least 90 minutes back on April 1st for these first 2 episodes to bang at the Nielsen ratings? This guy. I told you this is what it would come down to, and sure enough, I got proven right. That's about the same time that you would get from a standard original Netflix film that would come out, right? And we see that all the time. And Netflix, often with those brand new original films in the same 3-day opening weekend period, will get usually somewhere around 1.5 billion, 2 billion watch minutes, especially with the more popular ones like the Ryan Reynolds films that they do, sometimes more than 2.5 billion. We have seen that as well. So you would think that if you have a really hot Star Wars show like Obi Wan Kenobi with a similar runtime to one of those Netflix original films that gets 2.5 billion watch minutes or somewhere thereabout, you would think that Obi Wan Kenobi if it's as popular, should perform at about the same rate. Even if we take into account that Netflix has more subscribers. They have about 75 million subscribers in North America compared to Disney Plus's roughly 45 to 46 million subscribers in North America. Even if we take that variance into account and weight the adjustment on in terms of watch minutes based on the subs, it still should put Obi Wan Kenobi north of 1 billion minutes, well north of 1 billion minutes in watch time comfortably. But then something else happened this weekend I don't think Disney expected.
Jeez! Having any fun yet?
And there it is. It's Top Gun. They just did not expect this to come out and do what it did. I don't think they expected to have a critic score of 97% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't always often trust. But when I see something as insane as an action flick like this, pulling a 97% along with a 99% audience score, as of the Thursday previews, which the movie had been out in select locations the last couple of days, and it went wide release today, that's uncanny. That doesn't happen very often, especially not for big budget action films like this. And this movie is getting a lot of traction, and what that means is the news media is going to be spending their time covering the things that are the hottest trends on Google searches, because that's what's going to get them clicks, that's what's going to pay the bills. Now, I saw Top Gun today, and it is incredible. I loved the movie, and I can't recommend it enough, especially if you're a fan of the original one from the 1980s like I am. But this is an issue for Disney coming into this weekend, and I think this is another reason why they felt like getting an extra 3-hour head start, coming into a prime time kind of moment, getting it in a little bit earlier on a Thursday night when more people would be awake to get a bigger jump start on these watches, not only on the view count, but also on the watch time, because that is what Nielsen measures. And if they can get enough people seeing Obi Wan Kenobi a little earlier and get talking about it on the internet, talking about what they saw, talking about the episodes, especially if they're really, really good, they're hoping to move the needle on these trends before we get into the heart of the weekend and Stranger Things drops and everybody starts binging that. They have really got to come in here and try to get as much of this front-loaded as they possibly can, because that is going to help drive things going forward. Will it work? I don't know. Again, I have no expectation that Obi Wan Kenobi would ever outperform Stranger Things 4. There's going to be more episodes of Stranger Things 4. There's going to be more watch time available for Stranger Things 4. But as long as there is a comparative relevance, a weighted relevance between these two figures at the end of the day, it's probably okay. But I also, like I said, I don't think Disney expected Top Gun to be as big of a hit as it's looking like it might wind up being this weekend, which again is taking more attention away from their premiere Star Wars show. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments below before you head out the door today. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, share this sucker out on the social medias, and until next time, take care.